Hello, my Teaserking family. How the hell's everybody today? All right, you ready to go buy some silver and gold? I'm in my best James Bond type of shirt. All right, we will start this show differently.
The way we look at it, the price is not irrelevant, but you should not look at gold as an investment. You measure on a daily basis. You buy a kilo of gold, 100 kilos of gold, or a ton of gold, whatever size investor you are. You put it away and you don't look at the value. All you know is that you have X ounces or X kilos of gold, and you know that will over time outperform or at least keep pace with every other asset in the world. And times like today, when there is so much money printing and credit creation, gold will outperform all other assets in the next few years. Even in this century, in the 2000s, gold has done better than almost every asset class, done better than all of the stock markets. Most people don't realize that because people don't even know that gold exists. Therefore, price is irrelevant. Of course, sometimes gold doesn't move. It moves in periods, sometimes very fast, and sometimes it just goes sideways. The way we look at it, the price.
And the reason it does
is not irrelevant.
The reason is because of COMEX and the JP Morgan people hitting the derivatives to get out of their positions. It is not a free market asset, unfortunately. I was listening to Mark McGwire. Good one. I'll play that. We're listening to Alligator. He had a little thing on today that I actually didn't mind, although he does mock Austrian economics. I must penalize him for that. Not a good boy. I don't think he understands Austrian economics. He's a banker. I don't think he understands. I think all he understands is banking. Watching our doctor, cayenne pepper will stop a heart attack. So if you're having a heart attack, take some cayenne pepper and eat it. Have some water with it. A lemon will kill that real hot and spicy you get with eating the cayenne pepper. But it's a blood thinner, and it apparently it will stop a heart attack just like that. It'll you got arthritis or inflammation, rub it on there, it'll stop that. It's the miracle drug. I've been putting it in I just had an omelet, I put it in. I've been putting it in so I just pour it on my, when I'm mixing my eggs and when I'm mixing my vegetables, I'll put it in my salad with Celtic salt. And yeah, mighty good. We'll start football in a minute. Went to the gold store yesterday, as I promised, and bought an ounce of gold, 27. Where did the thing go? 27.57 for a maple leaf. He did not have any quarter ounce or half ounce. So I bought the ounce of gold for 27. I brought 3,800, and I wanted to buy a quarter ounce of gold, which he didn't have. So instead, I bought this 7 ounces of 2 ounce. This is 14 ounces. Each one's 2 ounces. So I got 7 of them. And these are maple leafs. You can see 2 ounce, and these are 4 nines, silver, pure gold, pure silver, 2 ounces, and of course the maple leaf. And on the back is Queen Elizabeth. She still gets around. This is dated 2020. 2020 is the date. And it's got a $10 value on it. So if you're ever at an airport, hey, this is $10. That's what I thought. I don't. Oh, it has a value. I thought gold and silver weren't real money. I mean, you can just bullshit your way out of it. Anyway, so each one's 2 ounces. So I got 14. This cost me. Well, what I did was I said this was $37 an ounce. So each one's $74. This is just give me $500 worth. and $500 worth was like 6.9. So I said, just give me 7, plus it's my lucky number anyway. So 1 ounce of maple leaf gold at 27.50. The ounce of eagle, which I could have got, was 27.90. So I said it was like $50 cheaper. I said, so it's an ounce of gold. Why would I pay an extra $50 for? Now, I didn't buy this 1 ounce. It was beautiful. It was a kangaroo, the Australian 1 ounce gold that I thought was beautiful, but I didn't know what to do with it. I don't have any kangaroo. I never see them. I do have the Philharmonics and, of course, the Cougarans. And I kind of thought about it, but I thought because it was so, I hadn't seen it before, not that I was worried about it, but it was the same value as I think the maple leaf was. And he also I had 2 China Panda 1 ouncers. I was hesitant to buy the China ones because I can get in trouble with that, but no, not really. But they were pandas, and I said no. But I really thought long and hard about the kangaroo. I really and it was real shiny. This was beautiful. This was like this. I mean, this is really shiny. If we get it out of the light properly. I mean, this was very nice. And that's what that looked like. It was very nice, very pretty. So I got it instead of the white container in this red one, which is a little thinner, and I got to see what I can get it. But it still takes this, so maybe I can get more into it. Now, keep in mind, these are 2 ouncers, right? This is 2 ounce. This is there, 2 ounces. So you can see a 2 ounce silver. So, you're going to sell your ounce for food or whatever anyway. So I figured 2 ounces is fine. I have a couple of 10-ounce bars. I gave a 5-ounce bar to Jenna in Italy. And then, so normally I get 1 ounces, but it's good if we go to Switzerland. We want this, and then you can get a little bit more bang for your buck, and you can carry. Again, I think this is for 14. That's really 28 ounces in here versus the normal one has 20 ounces. It's a little bulkier, so I took this. So I was excited because I hadn't bought in a couple of weeks. And so it was nice. I got, like I said, and if you think about it, it's a trade. I traded 32, let's call it 32.30. So I took $3,200. I went to the bank. I got 38 in hundreds because I just got my paycheck, Social Security, and I had no bills with this. This is the good week. I have no bills. Next week I got a credit card. The week after is rent. So it's like, okay, perfect, no bills. And so I took 3,800. I said, well, I want to buy 1.25 ounces, which would have cost me about 3,400. So I was willing to spend about 3,500, and this ended up costing me under 33. So this was 30. I got 500 left, so it was like 32 and change. And but I was going to get the normal rounds, but when I saw this, I was kind of like, I've never seen this before. And it's very shiny. It's very new, mid condition. So I'm like, I don't care about the condition too much as long as it's not scratched. So I was excited, and I got another ounce of gold for the family. So that's on my way. Now my new goal is 100 ounces. My overall goal is 1 ton, but I know I won't reach that. Well, maybe if silver goes high enough. According to Mark McGwire, silver's about to go. It's all backlogged. There's going to be a silver squeeze, and it's going to be the beginning of January. So I would suggest for Christmas, you buy and don't go on vacation, buy silver. Well, we'll see. He's, when he gives a date like December, first week of December for gold, he's usually pretty close. And Putin They're going to come out with the gold-backed currency. They don't want war, so they got to be careful. And Putin, Trump's in power, but that's where they're headed. Definitely going gold back, and that's where we're headed. So, buy your silver. It's amazing he always seems to have silver. More of the Eagles still had some bullion, and then he's got like the countries, like he had maple leaf, regular maple leaf 1 ouncers, and stuff like that. So anyway, there's Egon. All right, so we'll get back to economics. Now, if you're buying this week, there's no college, obviously. I'm throwing the Army game in with the pros. So if you buy the pros, you get the Army game tomorrow. Go Army, beat Navy. And I'm not playing it under. Todd goes, "You playing it under?" I go, no. This is not an under game. Although I'm not quite sure of the weather. But I went a different route. Gold, 26.49. Silver, 30.56. We know this is bullshit, but we know this is about to blow up. Happy times. I have 4 locks going in the pros, and I'll probably mix them and match them, so they'll be worth like 5-6 bets. We've got Army at 6.5, 39.5, and South Alabama. What the fuck they're playing for against Western Michigan, 57.5. The quarterback of South Alabama, I think, is questionable, but it doesn't look like it because I don't see the line. If I check injuries, let's see the date of the injury. Gio Lopez, questionable December 2nd. It's the 13th. I assume he's playing. And Western, nothing. Western's an over team. South Alabama is an A team. South Alabama, this game started minus 7.5, is now, Army 6.5, and 39 is the line as of now. Army's the A team, Navy's the B team. Army with the 15 defense, Navy with the 23. The game's being played in Washington, where the Washington Redskins play. Let's check the weather there. So the weather in Washington, D.C. I don't care about Friday night. Tomorrow, it's going to be roughly 40, 43 degrees. Chance of rain. Oh, no, that's Sunday. Tomorrow, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny, high around 40, winds not negligible. So it's a good day for the game. It's not going to be real cold like it is here or weather. Let's look at the NFL weather. A lot of rain. So it rained in the Niner game yesterday. I did have the Rams +9 in a teaser with my Army bet. They win 12-6. I'm getting 9. Didn't matter. They won straight out. So that's over. Kansas City goes to Cleveland, and it's definite rain and a 15-mile-an-hour wind. So it says 41 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour winds, light rain. Last updated 12, right now. Rain, cloudy with a low around 40, south wind 9 to 14, chance of precipitation 90%. So you're getting rain in this game. So how is that going to affect? Probably won't affect Mahomes much. Winston, it doesn't matter. He's affected by a dry, sunny day. So just FYI, there is rain there. Cincinnati goes to Tennessee, likely rain showers. So you've got the KC Cleveland game and rain, and you got Cincinnati, Tennessee, possible rain. I got rain in KC, rain in Cleveland, and rain in Tennessee. The game's not in Cincinnati, it's in Tennessee. Rain showers, cloudy with a high near 57, south wind 10 to 15 miles an hour, with gusts as high as 25. Chance of rain is 90%. So you got to figure rain there. Now, how does that affect Burrow and Chase? Levis, he can't throw the ball anyway. So not sure what to do with that. I don't know how much rain really affects the game. Makes the ball a little slipperier. So if the quarterback's not Joe Burrow, it might affect him. I doubt it'll affect Joe Burrow. Levis, it could affect, but he doesn't throw anyway. Washington at New Orleans, it's in a dome. Baltimore goes to the NYGs, the Lawrence Taylorettes. And we've got 1 o'clock. It's chance of rain and snow, 37 degrees, 5-mile-an-hour wind. A chance of rain and snow after 10 p.m. Cloudy, low around 35, temperatures riding around 37 overnight. East wind around 5 miles an hour. Chance precipitation. So there's a at kickoff 37 degrees, 5 miles an hour wind. Chance of rain and snow, but if it stays 37, won't be snow. So we'll see there. Dallas and Carolina, chance of rain showers. 46 degrees, 7-mile-an-hour winds out of the northeast. Chance of rain showers. Not necessarily. It's just a chance. Mostly cloudy with a low around 42. Northeast wind around 5, chance precipitation 40. So it's almost probably not a lot of rain or just a little. Not like that Lion Green Bay game where it poured the whole game. Miami Houston's in a dome. The JETSs go to Jacksonville, 73% chance of rain, slight chance of rain. 73, 14-mile-an-hour wind, slight chance of rain, showers. Chance of rain showers, then partly cloudy. So probably not going to rain. A little bit of wind, 8 to 12 mile an hour. So this won't affect Rodgers, Mac Jones. Yeah, whatever. Indy at Denver. 54 degrees, 20. Okay, how can there be a chance of snow in 54 degrees? 54 degrees, 21 miles an hour wind from the northwest, mostly clear. So why are they showing 12:15 at 4:30? So I don't know. It says 54 with 21-mile-an-hour winds. Slight chance. You're not getting snow in 54 degrees. What the fuck they're talking about? I don't think it'll affect Denver. It'll affect Indy, who's an indoor team, a lot more than it'll affect Denver. In Denver, especially the wind. Maybe have a little effect on Bo Nix. Richardson can't throw it straight anyway. Buffalo, Detroit, it's in a dome. Pitt goes to Philly. Chance of rain in Philadelphia. 42 degrees, 5-mile-an-hour winds out of the northeast. Light rain likely. So really not a big rain. Rain likely after 7 p.m. Well, the game will be over by then. So cloudy with a low around 36, which is fine for football. 5-mile-an-hour winds. New rainfall amounts between 10. Yeah, so this is not a real weather game. The temperature's fine. The wind's fine. All right. New England at Arizona. We're in a dome. Tampa at San Diego. We're in a dome. Green Bay at Seattle. Here's chance of rain. 45 degrees, 3-mile-an-hour wind, southeast, light rain likely. Right lane, rain likely after 10. Mostly cloudy with a low around 40, chance precipitation 70, but it won't be till like the fourth quarter. And Chicago at Minnesota, we're in a dome. And Atlanta and Oakland, we're in a dome. So a couple of rain games, the KC, Cleveland, and Cincy, Tennessee. Maybe Dallas and Carolina, maybe not. And that is that. So let's get to the line. So there's really the one college game, the Army Navy. I'm not really playing South Alabama Western. I'm not really bothering by that. So let's look at the line. Start off with Baltimore 16-42.5 to the New York Giants. We got Baltimore an over team with the 25 defense. The Giants a Z team with the 23, and they're going to have Danny DeVito back. They can't score. Defense is okay. They got Neighbors is about it, only because he went to LSU. And we've got Baltimore off of a loss to Philadelphia. They had a bye last week, so they're still off of a loss. But the spread's so high at 16. I think they'll be close, but it's just really hard to cover it, although they'll be upset after the loss. Anything normal, I would have played this. If it was 8, this would be a lock. But again, we have a real tough time with Lamar. Play against the Giants 11-2, and play against the Giants as a home dog 7-0. So we don't love the Giants, but this spread's a little bit out of our league. At 16 down to 10 is I'm not teasing in the NFL 10. Philly didn't handle Carolina last week, so I'm not going there. Now we've already looked at the weather. I guess let's look at injury. Well, let's go through the lines and we'll look at injuries. The JETS is 3.5, 40.5 to Jacksonville. The Jets an under team with the 23 and Aaron Rodgers, and Jacksonville is a Z team, 27 defense, no offense, and Mac Jones and Lawrence couldn't do shit. And play against the Giants the Jets is 12-1. There really isn't that good of a thing against Jacksonville. That's how inconsistent they are. But it's hard. The Jets are so bad. But they're only laying 3.5. So I don't know. The total 40.5. The Jets don't have the killer defense we thought they were going to have. It's a 23 defense. Jacksonville 27. Rodgers should have a good game in this one going against this defense. Washington 7.5, 43.5. 43.5 to New Orleans. All right. I heard Carr breaks his hand. He's out for 4 or 5 weeks. But when I go into the injuries, I'm seeing he's questionable. What the fuck's going on here? So is he playing? Is he questionable? Is he out? I thought he was out. Okay, he's doubtful with the hand. All right. So that means Carr's out. We should get Hayner. Maybe we get Radler, but we should get Hayner. Washington, well, we'll get into all the other stuff. So Washington's 11-2 in a teaser. See how you get a good quarterback, and all of a sudden you're 11-2 in a teaser. And last year you were probably 11-2 bet against. So Washington, good turnaround. Over team with 23 defense. New Orleans even 23, but without Carr. Olave's got a concussion. I don't believe, playing. Washington, one of their receivers is doubtful. But Daniels will be the equalizer here. All right. Cincinnati, Tennessee. Joe Burrow -5, 46.5. Let's see. Obviously, Cincinnati's an over team with the 28 defense. Played a little bit of defense last week against, Dallas. Tennessee, a Z team with the 26 defense. It's Burrow against Levis. Play against Tennessee's 11-2. Play against them as a home dog, 8-0. So Tennessee doesn't like, they're bad underdog. Cincy's way undervalued. You saw what Burrow and Chase can do, and that was against Dallas and Micah Parsons. Tennessee don't have anything. Z team. I think it's a cheap line for Cincinnati. A little bit of rain. Let them try to figure out Chase with a little rain. It won't affect Burrow at all. Levis, who knows? He's not very good. So big quarterback edge to Burrow. Teaser trend. Tennessee doesn't cover. Houston 3, 46.5 to Miami. Both teams are under with 23 defenses. However, Houston's got their guy out, that El Shakir, who killed the Lions. Who is this guy, right, against the Lions? And then he hits Trevor Lawrence a little too hard. Come on, he should be in a dress. He's a quarterback. And you have which game we're doing? Houston. So, the defense is a little shorthanded. You got Tug against Stroud. Neither quarterback's that good. I know everybody likes Tug because he throws a smooth pass, but which team does he throw it to? A lot more interceptions. Play against Houston is 11-2. 5-0 as a home favorite. So Houston does not win as a home favorite by a lot. They probably win or lose or win close. They're also 11-2 straight up, and play against Miami as a road dog is 10-1. So Miami, a terrible road dog. Houston's 11-2, but if you bet against them, they're 11-2. So they play close games. And as a home dog, as a home favorite, they don't cover. They're 5-0 against. And then Miami is 10-1 against as a road dog. So what does that get you? I don't know. It's all over the place. Houston wins close is probably what it gets you. Tyreek Hill, I think, is the difference here. Houston, their receivers out. So, again, you don't know which Houston team. Houston lost to fucking Tennessee at home. You don't know what you're going to get. Bad coach, and Miami is a good home favorite, and they barely beat the JETSs last week. So I don't know. It's a tough one. KC 4 and 43.5 in a light rain. We got Mahomes against Winston. We got KC's a B team with a 19 defense, Magnolia. Cleveland's a Z team with a 26 defense. Winston gets a little bit, but he throws a lot of interceptions, a lot of pick sixes. Kansas City, very strong defense here. And I think it comes down to Mahomes wins the games. At the end of the day, if KC's anywhere close, they win it. The line's 4, so you get 2 with Mahomes, which is like gold. It's a small line for Cleveland. Cleveland's terrible, so I don't get this line. I don't get the Cincinnati line that they're only 4 to Tennessee. Well, okay, Tennessee's a little better. We just don't see it. Cleveland, the same thing. All right, they might run Nick Chubb. It'll be a little bit of rain. They'll never guard Kelsey in the rain. Pacheco will get a lot. But I got to bet the defense, and Cleveland's got a 26 defense, even though they got Myles Garrett. So when I look at that, Pittsburgh handled them pretty good, pretty nice there. Although they did, Baltimore and Pitt lost at Cleveland, and they've only won 3 games. So you're just scratching your head going, they're going to go 3-14, beating Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't see Mahomes losing this game, but just be, they have beaten Baltimore and Pitt at home, so just be a little careful. The total of 43.5. You could go there. It's a little bit of rain. I don't know what you're going to get out of that. So I think Mahomes wins, and little rain. I don't know what you want to do with that. Dallas, Carolina, Carolina 3.5 and 43 to Dallas. How is Carolina favored? Anybody? Dallas is an E team with a 24 defense, even with Micah Parsons. And they played Cincinnati 27-20. Cooper Rush looks very good. Steve Young still looks like shit. Carolina, I still have as a Z team with a 30 defense. So the defense got better. It was 32, 31, 30. They're playing a little better defensively, and that's based on not Young, but Chuba Hubbard. So they're running Hubbard a lot. I don't know that they're going to run into Micah Parsons very well, but they're running him, and they're basically not throwing with Young because they realize, I think he got 130 yards last week. So it's not him. Dallas, good defense. Cooper Rush, much better than Steve Young. So I don't get Carolina favored in the game. We'll see. It seems very, very strange. Because I don't know. They're playing better, but they're not winning. They played Philly okay. They lost. They played KC close, but KC didn't care. But it's not. They won 2 games. They beat New Orleans and the New York Giants. And I think Jacksonville like week 1 or week 2. So they beat them by 1 point each. So where are you seeing this blowout by Carolina here? Let me know when you find out. Let's just check injury. I've checked them. I don't see anything. Here. Dallas, bunch of questionables. One guy's out, that Overshawn, who I never heard of, and all of a sudden it's a big deal. Safety's out. Thomas, Beebe, a guard out. And that's it. I do not even see – I see CeeDee Lamb with an injured shoulder, but he probably has already had it. Trevion Diggs, the cornerback, questionable with the knee, but okay. Hendricks, the linebacker, questionable with a personal. He's not even injured. So I don't really see where people are out. Carolina, linebacker out, who I never heard of. The rest, Chuba Hubbard injured with the rest. How is it an injury? Josie Jules, the only other guy I heard of. I never heard of any of these guys. So it's not an injury thing. We've seen the weather. It's a little bit of rain, but not terrible. I don't think it'll affect the game. Arizona 646 to New England. New England's a W team with a 24 and Drake May. Arizona, an under team with the 22 and Kyler Murray. Yes, Kyler Murray is on an under team. He can't score. What do you take out of that? So they're laying 6. Now, New England, we know Drake Mays, he's running around and dancing and singing and dancing. He's, not very good. Throws a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, runs a lot. So it generates a little bit of offense, which we thought Kyler Murray did, but not anymore. Kyler Murray against a good defense doesn't do shit. Now, is New England a good defense? I don't know. I think New England runs Stevenson half the game, or Drake May runs around Murray. I don't know where he disappears to against Seattle. He doesn't even score. So again, this is not Arizona is not going to blow them out. They'll be lucky to win. This is probably a toss-up game. Hey, Todd. You're welcome, Todd. Bobby Bo, we got some economics for you, and I bought you. Here you go. This is a 2-ounce. This is a 2-ounce maple leaf. See, 2 ounces maple leaf, really thick. I got it yesterday because the guy didn't have any quarter ounces. So that was an ounce. I've got a 1 ounce maple leaf and then gold and then 7 2-ounce silvers. So I kind of like those. Yeah, well, Friday night. I didn't have it today. I had too many errands and I got tired. What the heck happened to San Francisco? They're done. Yeah. Well, a lot of injuries. I did have the Rams, and you should have got that pick because it was with the Army pick. The Niners, you got Cooper Kupp. Did Cooper Kupp not play? Because I see he didn't do anything, but Pukanuka got like 10 catches. The Niners, and it was like really weird because the Niners played. Greenleaf was back, and Boza played, and Kittle played, but they're missing their first 2 running backs, and they still have injuries on defense. So the Niners, this is what injuries will do to you. You got a lot of injuries. You're not the same team. They're out. They're missing 4 or 5 all-pros. You know, you lose McCaffrey, so that's what's happening is the injuries. I got some not so good news, though. My blood work came in. Take cayenne pepper. That will cure your blood work. I was just watching the doctor, and cayenne pepper. Please don't take aspirin because it'll kill you. Just take cayenne pepper. That's all you need to do. I'll show you in a minute. Always good for the most part, but the ab results show that I got high cholesterol. Would you stop at the high cholesterol? It's not even real. This time the total cholesterol, Bobby, there is no such thing as cholesterol. It is if there's a fire and the fire engine shows up, they want to blame the fire engine for the fire. That's what cholesterol is. So if there's something wrong, the cholesterol is there to heal it. There is nothing wrong with you. I never check my cholesterol because it's not real. It's just bullshit. They want to sell you some drugs, so they make you sick to sell you some drugs and scare you. Just a second. All right. As your doctor, I want you to take this organic cayenne pepper. You'll be healed in 3 days. Just take it. I put it in my salad. I put it in my omelets. I make it on my steaks and my chicken and my fish. I just pour on some drops. I would advise you to take a little bit, just put it in your hand and just eat it and drink your water. And a lemon will neutralize the real hot stuff. So take it. You'll have that real hot taste in your mouth. Just bite a lemon and it'll go away. This will cure you. And plus, you have nothing wrong with you. Cholesterol is not bad. And stop going to these stupid doctors that you go to. You got to go to our doctors that we use that explain things. Again, it's the fire engine going to the fire. It's not the fire engine that caused the fire, and it's not cholesterol that has a heart problem. Take the cayenne pepper. You will be 100% healed, and stop going to these doctors. HD went up, so that is good in my drive. Okay, so you're all right. That LDD is associated with heart disease and heart attacks. This will prevent, even if you're having a heart attack. If you're having a heart attack, you take this, it stops in 5 minutes. Just go buy this, please. McCormick organic cayenne pepper. You see the pretty orange, and just start putting it in your salads, your omelets, your steaks, your pig's ears, and just you'll be fine. Listen to the doctor. I don't want to believe it, and it ruined my day today. Well, get on the pepper. How many times a day do I take that cayenne pepper? This is at the grocery store, McCormick's. How many times a day? Well, let's say, well, I had it on my salad at lunch. I had it in my omelet for dinner. So anytime you eat anything, pour some on there, and it'll give a nice taste. And with the Celtic salt, are you eating your Celtic salt? 82 minerals. It's not a medicine. You've got to realize it's not medicine. It's a herb that is very healthy for you. That will, if you were to cut yourself shaving, you put this on your face and it'll stop like that. The bleeding, it heals the bleeding. It heals, it thins your blood. It's extremely helpful for you. So I would, if you want, just sprinkle a little on and drink it in the morning or at night, and then just put it with your food. Salads, burgers, chicken, anything you eat, put a little of that. You go to a restaurant, you take this, pour a little on, and it's fine. It'll be a little hot, but it's fine. It's extremely beneficial. That, like castor oil, like the Celtic salt, like the ginger, like the lemon, all the stuff, just eat that shit. You'll be fine. Yes, it's a red powder. It's red, kind of orangey. And it says organic cayenne pepper McCormick's. This will be at your grocery store in the spices section. You can't miss it. And it's whatever it costs. This is like, I think, $3 or $4. It's the best thing I've ever bought. That and the Celtic salt. Do you put it on food that is already cooked or as a seasoning? Well, I put it on my salad, so I'm not cooking that. I do put it on my omelet. I sprinkle it on before I mix it up. So either way, your burger, you probably want to season it with the burger. However, you could put it on the burger. Like if you're at barbecue and you're getting a burger, or you're getting ribs, or you're getting the barbecue chicken, just pour it on it. Not a lot, just sprinkle it on, but you're trying to get it in. It'll thin your heart, and you won't worry about cholesterol. Todd, I'm leaving now to the store, professor. Thanks. Cayenne pepper, yeah, it'll really heal you. And I'm watching the doctor, Barbara O'Neill, and she says her friend was having a heart attack, took the cayenne pepper, it stopped. And she gets up like, what happened? In 2 minutes, it stopped the heart attack. Do not take aspirin. She says it causes brain bleeding. So be very careful with the drugs. I don't even go to a doctor anymore because what are you going to give me? Something that'll kill me? Or I can have this stuff. Todd is going to get now. He's smart. Well, Todd, all my students are smart, Bobby. Thank you, Todd. He wasted no time. Well, you're going to go right after the show. Well, I think you said you had some. It'll thin your blood, which is what causes the heart, and it'll fix you. So if you're having heart issues, or it'll thin the blood and fix it. It fixes the blood thing. It thins it out and fixes it. Between that and the fasting, you'll live to 120, Bobby. All right. So again, had fun yesterday. See, this isn't really 7 ounces. It's 14 ounces. Look how thick these are. I've never seen this before. And you know how often I go there. 7 of these, and it's 14 ounces. And I go, oh, when I go to Switzerland, I'll just take this and, I'll have a couple $1,000s on me. With only, this holds 14 of them. So I said, what am I going to put in there? He says, well, you'll put the other 7 in there. So again, it was $35 an ounce because these were maple leaves. So it's basically $70 a coin, and times 7 is $490. Yeah, because I had 500 to spend because he didn't have the quarter ounce. He's not getting quarter and half ounces. He's just getting ounces. He had this really cool kangaroo, Bobby. He had the Australian silver gold. It was so pretty. It was so bright and shiny, and it had the kangaroo on it. And I was thinking of getting it for you, and I was like, I ended up getting the maple leaf, but it was the same price, and it was $50 cheaper than the eagle. And I said, an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. Nobody cares where it came from. A little bit here, but really, if I go to Switzerland, they're going to take it either way. Thanks to the tip, Professor. I will definitely buy it. I know you will. And the Celtic salt. I showed you that. I hope you bought that. I missed it. I bought coins yesterday. I bought 1 ounce of gold, and I wanted a quarter ounce of gold. And because I brought 3,800 because I got paid. So I got 3,800, and I wanted an ounce and a quarter of gold, but they didn't have the quarter. So I couldn't really afford 2 ounces of gold. So I got 7 of these at $70 a shot. I was going to spend 500. So that's what I spent. So I spent $27.50 and 500. So it's like $32.50, $32.60. So that was yesterday. I couldn't wait. I went on my lunch, went to the bank, grabbed my money, and then do it. And you have 3 choices. You get paid. You either leave your money in the bank and be lucky if you can get it out. It's not going to earn interest because it's worthless. B, you put it in your safe. C, you take it and you buy gold and silver with it. And again, you're not spending a dime because you're just trading toilet paper for real money, right? So you either get this, nice and shiny. This is really shiny. Or you get what would you rather have? Something that has no value or something where the value is about to go through the moon first week of January. And we will watch Mark McGwire tell us that. He had a good show. Alligator, actually, I liked his thing today. And I started off, well, you missed it. I started off with Egon. You can't miss the beginning of class, Bobby.
The way we look at it, the price is not irrelevant, but you should not look at gold as an investment. You measure on a daily basis. You buy a kilo gold, 100 kilos of gold, or a ton of gold, whatever size investor you are. You put it away and you don't look at the value. All you know is that you have X ounces or X kilos of gold, and you know that will over time outperform or at least keep pace with every other asset in the world. And times like today, when there is so much money printing and credit creation, gold will outperform all other assets in the next few years. Even in this century, in the 2000s, gold has done better than almost every asset class, done better than all of the stock markets. Most people don't realize that because people don't even know that gold exists. Price is irrelevant. Of course, sometimes gold doesn't move. It moves in periods, sometimes very fast, and sometimes it just goes sideways. The way we look at it, the price.
There you go, Bobby. A little bit of Egon for you. We're all over the multitasking. The silver coin is so much nicer than the shitty piece of green paper. Well, but this is real. This is money. And this is what we don't like about Bitcoin. We can't hold it. And as Attack on Wall Street show us, nobody can say this is worthless because it'll never be worthless, right? It's very limited and it's real money and it's silver, right? The dollar is worthless. Bitcoin is nothing. It's not real. You can't hold it in your hands. So that's the first thing you hold in your hands. But nobody can say to me it's worthless, right? Now it won't even be worthless. Like when this goes out and your house goes to zero and your car goes to zero and everything goes to zero, this will not go to zero. This will increase 50 times because this will be the money. And that's what people don't understand. I'm in the sun and the guy goes, well, what are you going to trade your gold for? What fiat currency? And I go, you don't understand. The gold will be the money. McFly, is anybody home? Gold turns into the money and silver. That's what the money is. Not, you don't need to sell it. This is not a painting. This is not a baseball card or a Rolex. Not that those are bad, a Mickey Mantle card, but you still got to, you've got to sell it to get gold or silver, right? But gold and silver are money. You don't have to sell it. All right, back to football. We'll get back to economics. Arizona, now we talked about. San Diego, 345 to Tampa in a dome. We don't have to worry about weather. And we're looking about Mr. Herbert, our quarterback. Larry Davids, he's not. Kay Johnson for Tampa's out. Britt, the linebacker's out. Edwards, the safety's out. A lot of injuries on Tampa. Winfield's out. That's a big loss. And that's it. And, of course, the other receiver besides Evans, who I can't think of his name right now. Justin Herbert's injured with an ankle, but he's been playing with a high ankle sprain, so I'm sure he's going to play. Dizzy, the tight end, is out. And Rieger, the wide receiver, is out with the finger. But McConkey's questionable at the knee. How about my Brock Bowers? This guy's a fucking superstar. I called that one. All right, so we've got San Diego 345.5. San Diego, a B team with a great defense, 16 defense. Tampa is a over team with a 24 defense. So I'm kind of waiting on what's going on with Herbert. He's probably playing, and that will determine it. I'm going to go one way if he doesn't play. I'm going the other way if he does play. But I just killer defense. So, well, if he doesn't play, we're obviously going under with the 16 defense. Best defense in the league. All right, Detroit, Buffalo. Detroit 2.5, 54.5. You got both A teams. Detroit with an 18 defense, although their best players out. Hutchinson, and then Buffalo an 18 with the 21 defense. Allen against Golf. Buffalo 12-1 in a teaser. Detroit's not. They're like 13, so they're probably like 10-2 or 10-3 in a teaser. Golf, he's going to get pressure. He's going to throw some picks. Josh Allen's going to run around Detroit's defense. Now, there's two plays here, obviously. Tease the dog because she got Buffalo, or you can go over, and it's your call. Play it or pass. Do I think Buffalo can win? Absolutely. Buffalo, okay, they lost to the Rams, but look what happened. The Rams won 12-6. I don't know what team I was watching. Here they put up 80 points with Buffalo. The Niners have a good defense, but they're pretty much injured, although Bosa played. But really, 12 points, and then holding Frisco to 6 isn't a big deal, but they don't have a good defense. So they didn't really know how to handle Josh Allen. Detroit. Now, there's two theories of thought here. Will Detroit run the ball to keep the ball away from Allen because half their team's injured on defense? Supposedly, a few of their defensive linemen are supposed to come back, but how healthy are they really? Not Hutchinson and not the linebacker. They're still hurt. Some of the other linebackers. And you got Josh Allen running around like a crazy man. So it's getting a little high for the over. I don't love it. At 54, I go to 48. It's a bit high. I do think it'll be high scoring because Detroit's got such a strong offense, and then they really aren't going to be able to handle Allen. They played a 65 with Green Bay. So I do think that the question is Buffalo's defense. Both defenses to me are weak, and both offenses are strong. So it should be this should be Texas State against UTSA. That's what the game should be. But you always have that one team running to keep the ball away from the other team's defense. That always seems to pop up. So you got to be careful. And then it's I don't see how you take Detroit here. I think you either go live dog or you go over. That's up to it. It's what you feel. But the over, if the over was 50, it would be a lock. 54, I am a little. It's a high number. You know, in the NFL, everything's a little bit not as much as you get in college. All right, Denver and Indy. Denver 444. Bo Nix. Indy's an under team with a 23 defense, and Richardson's pretty bad. Denver's a B team with an 18 defense. They're at home. Bo Nix is lighting it up. And in a teaser, we've got Denver 12-0 or 12-1 in a teaser. Play against Indy. Indy's 11-2 on. If you play against Indy, 13-0. So if you look at this game, if I bet against Indy, I'm 13-0 this year. So basically every game. And if I bet Denver, I'm 12-1 betting them anyway. So this is a double here. So they're at home. I thought this spread should be 7, 3.5. You actually get points with Denver. Are we afraid of Richardson? And what I love about it most, besides Knicks, is this 18 defense. So that's the answer to that riddle. Philly 5.5, 6, 43 to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they're both A teams. They both have 18 defenses, and they're both A teams. So they both score. Russell Wilson against Hurts. It's not close. Russell Wilson's 2 times the quarterback as Hurts. Devontae Smith really never turned into a Jefferson or a Chase, did he? See, that's the LSU guys, Jefferson and Chase, superstars. The Alabama guys, they're always Julio Jones. The guy's missed for 6 years. He's had a pulled hamstring. Pitt 12-1 in a teaser. Play against home favorite Philly 11-2 against. Play against as a home favorite 5-0 this year, 11-2 last year. And Pitt is 8-1 as a road dog. This is all Pittsburgh. So this is like the last game. It's double jeopardy. I can take Pitt in 11.5. I can go under 49.5. Players option. I think they're both winners. Philly scares you a little because of the way they handled Baltimore, and they've shut down teams with their defense. That's why I lean towards the under a little bit. But the way Russell Wilson looks, and by the way, we got a defense in Pittsburgh too. Where's Luke? We're talking Pittsburgh, Luke. They got a strong defense too. I think this turns into a defensive game, but I think Pitt wins it, but I think it'll be a defensive game. Green Bay, Seattle. Green Bay 2.5, 46. Green Bay is a B team with a 21 defense and Love. Seattle is a E team with the 22 defense and Geno Smith. Green Bay is 12-1 in a teaser. There's a lot of this going on this year where the teams are 12-1 or 13-0 in a teaser, and there's some 11-2s, and it goes the other way where like the Jets are 12-1 against in a teaser. I've never seen anything like where there's so many 12-1s and both ways. I don't know. Seattle's been playing strong defensively. Green Bay, they're okay defensively. The Lions got them 34-31 last week. Seattle just doesn't score that much. They don't use DK Metcalf enough. I don't really like their coach. He's a good defensive coach, supposedly, yet their defense is 22. They're only good against Kyler Murray. Green Bay, very strong team. Had the Lions, should have won. But we'll see. So this is a tough game. They always have fun when they play in Seattle. There's so many strong games against Seattle that are like miracle games. That playoff game is 16-0, and Seattle pulls it off in overtime. Unbelievable. Minnie in Chicago, Minnie 7-44 to the Bears. Minnie is one game back of the Lions, tied with Philly. They need the game. Minnie is an 18 with a 19 defense, and Darnell, and we all know our favorite stat, Minnesota 27-3 in a teaser. The last 2 years, 12-1 this year, by the way. Chicago, not that good. Caleb, under team, 21 defense. So Minnie's got the better offense, the better defense, and the better spread record. The Bears played Minnie. Minnie beat them in Chicago. And I don't know. Caleb's he'll get sacked 5 times. Right now, I'll trust Darnold over Caleb all day. And our last one is Atlanta, 44.5 to Oakland. I don't know if it's O'Connell. He goes out on an air cast, and it's a bruised knee. And I don't know if he's playing or not. You either get him or the Riddler against Kirk Cousins, where's Penix? If Penix is playing this game, I'd be on Atlanta. With Cousins, I don't like either team. Atlanta's an E team with the 26 defense, which is always their problem with their defense. Oakland's a Z team with the 28 defense. You can't bet them. So I don't know what you do on the game. It's a hard total to cover because, again, you've got, 2 terrible defenses, but you really don't have offense. O'Connell, you got rid of Devontae Adams, so who are you going to throw to? Well, you got Brock Bowers, I guess, and or Riddler, and then Cousins. How many interceptions is he going to throw? So this is a tough game. So let's go through the teaser trends. We've got play against Tennessee is 11-2, so that would be Cincinnati. Washington's 11-2 in a teaser. Play against the New York Giants is 11-2, and as a home dog is 7-0. So if they're the home dog, you bet against them and you win 7-0. So you would be on Baltimore, but the spread's too high to play Baltimore. Carolina, Dallas. Is Dallas 11-2 play against? That's what it looks like. So Dallas has been, because they've been like shit this year. 11-2 play against in a teaser. Jacksonville play against the Jets is 12-1. So you take Jacksonville. Miami, Houston's all over the place. Houston's 11-2 in a teaser, and if you play against them, they're 11-2 in a teaser. Play against Miami as a road dog is 10-1. So Houston will probably win the game by a field goal. Indy, Denver. Indy's 11-2 in a teaser, 13-0 against, and Denver's 12-1 in a teaser. Buffalo's 12-1 in a teaser. Pittsburgh's 12-1 in a teaser. Play against Philly as a home favorite, it's 11-2. Tampa Bay 11-2 in a teaser this year. 12-0 as a road dog in the last 2 years. Tampa. San Diego 12-1 in a teaser, and 4-0 this year as a home favorite. Harbaugh, they play Purdue next week. Green Bay 12-1 in a teaser. Minnesota 27-3 in a teaser, 12-1 this year. Those are your teaser trends, and they're part of what I use, but not. I don't just say, "Oh, Minnesota's 27-3. I'm betting them," because you can't do it that way. But it helps. It definitely helps, but you can't just look at one a variable and go, oh, that's the one I'm going to use. It works a lot, probably 75%, 80% of the time. You get these kind of trends and you probably win, but you got to be careful. Are you playing the Chiefs? Are you playing, Detroit or Buffalo? You got to back it off. If you're playing Carolina, then, it definitely helps you. The silver coin is so much nicer than that chain. And is it nicer than a Bitcoin? Because we don't know what a Bitcoin is. Imagine buying tickets for a game like the Niner game, 12-6, embarrassing stuff. I like Bills to pull it off against. It's not my Lions. I'm not a Lion fan. I think the Bills definitely can. I think that this is where the Lions defense will, Green Bay lit it up. The Bears lit it up in the second half with all the injuries. And again, some of these defensive linemen are questionable. Like they're going to try to play, but how long are they going to play? 5 plays and they'll be hurt again because they shouldn't have played in the first place. And Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down every fucking time. I've never seen a coach this stupid in my life. Well, it's the style of the Lions is we're going to go for it on 4th down. Oh, so I got a coach with his head up his ass. Very nice. All right. I know I was joking with you, Professor. I knew you would say that about the Lions. I pretty much the only team I like in Detroit is the Pistons when Isaiah's on it or Chauncey. But when they're good, I like the Pistons. But they're the worst team. It's just embarrassing. The Red Wings I liked with obviously with Yzerman and those guys. I like the Red Wings. I mean, at least these guys win titles. The Lions haven't won a title in 70 years. And they're not going to win this year either. And then the Tigers choked in 06 and that with your guy, Bobby Leland. But no, I like winners. I like Mahomes. I like Joe Burrow. I have an argument with the guy at work. I said, college teams can beat some bad pro teams. He says, no way, it's different. I go, are you kidding? Are you telling me that LSU team with Burrow, Chase, and Jefferson couldn't beat 5 or 6 pro teams? Because these are like, Hall of Famers all on one team in college. And you don't think they could have beat like the last place Lions or Cardinals or whoever was last place or the last, I'm talking the 3 or 4 last place teams. They'd have lit them up. They can't stop them now, right? You can't stop Burrow and Chase now. How would they have done it in college? I mean, and these guys had a great line and a great defense. They would not have been able to stop them. There's no fucking way. So I kind of argue with the guy, but he doesn't really know who I am. So I'm Bruce Wayne there, not Batman. Anyway, so that's the pros. I have 4 locks going this week. If you want the class, $25, and I'll throw in the Army game. But I can't do a college class because they don't. So here's what I'm doing. Just so you guys know. So all right, so here's the Bible, the Teaserking Bible. So if you go here, college picks, all bowl games and playoffs, $100. So you get everything. So all the way through, so all the bowls and normally they're $100 every year. Todd knows that, he buys it. But this year now you're getting 12 playoff games, which go to 4 more playoff games, which go to the final playoff games. Now, if you want the class, they've been 25, it's 50, but you're going to get a class each week for each week of the bowl games and the playoffs. So it's not one class for 50. Now the pros are still 25 a class, but the college is 50, and you'll get 3 or 4 class. It's at least 3 weeks. You got the first week, then you got Christmas week, then you got New Year's, and then you still have the playoffs after New Year's, 2 more weeks. So it's a pretty good bargain for 50, and the bowls are $100, which again, you're getting like 4 weeks of it. So I always give a good Christmas present to the class. So anyway, so this week, 2 locks, 2 pro locks, that's 4 teams. I'll probably mix them up a little bit. I played the Rams last night +9 with something in the Army game. So that was my only. I'm not even looking at South Alabama, Western Michigan. What the fuck is that, a bowl game they're playing like now? You can't leave Army, Navy alone. You got to have another game there. So that's what I'm doing. So if you want the regular week, so you're in the purchase picks and then just go to the pros, or you can buy 4 weeks for 200. So 75 for 1, 200 for 4. So either way, your choice. Now we know I've been red hot. 10-0 week. What was I, 9-0 last week, or 7-0, 8-0, something like that. Hitting the lock Cincinnati Monday night. I've had a 10-1 week. So I'm cooking in the pros. I've got that pretty well figured out. All right, so that be football. So the quarterbacks that I got Mahomes and Winston, KC Cleveland. I got Burrow and Levis, Cincy, Tennessee. Daniels, it looks like Hainer. It looks like Carr's out. Hainer played last week. I assume it's him, or it's going to be Rattler. Lamar against Danny DeVito. Cooper Rush against Steve Young in Dallas, Carolina. Rodgers against Mac Jones, the Jets. Tua against Stroud, Miami, Houston. Richardson against Knicks, Indy, Denver. Allen against Golf, Buffalo, Detroit. Wilson against Hurts. In the big game, Philly, Pitt. May against Murray. New England, Arizona. Baker against Herbert. I think he'll play. He's been playing with the high ankle sprain. He's a tough guy. Love and Smith, Green Bay, Seattle. Caleb and Darnold, Chicago Mini. And Cousins against either O'Connell or Riddler. I'm not sure. So I got at least 8 plays. I got 4. When I say 4 locks, I got 4 teams that I got locked. It's 2 teasers, but I got them. Usually I'll wrap them in 2 teasers. And that's the part people don't understand. It's 1 pick, like Cincinnati over last week. It was 1 pick, but I had them in 2 teasers, and they were locked in 2 teasers. So that's the part people aren't really, they don't get. They just want to look at your percentage. It's like Bitcoin. Oh, I want to buy Bitcoin. You don't even know what it is. All right, so we saw Egon. Here's a real good. I normally don't like Yankee Doodle Dandy, but I do like his take on Bitcoin.
I just made a disappear. Now imagine if your assets could do that, but not for you, but for anybody.
Shut the fuck up.
The only way to bail out our government, potential of capital gains.
Do you ever see a central bank?
Now, why would they lose faith? Well, somebody starts a rumor that I actually know where Bitcoin came from. It came from the Chinese Communist Party. It was let's say somebody comes out of China and says, yes, Bitcoin was invented by the Chinese Communist Party. How many people are going to want to continue to invest in it? Because that is where it came from. It starts out at thin air. It's just the thin air that gets more and more expensive.
Do you think Trump is treading on thin ice, though, if he's listening to his son, Barron, if he's listening to, like, Michael Saylor, going all in on Bitcoin, leveraging up on Bitcoin?
There's only one reason for them to go in on Bitcoin, and that is because of the potential of trillions of dollars in capital gains taxes that some country, preferably ours,
Just a second, Bobby.
will take advantage of.
So it's a grift?
Listen, the IRS is already sending people notices that they owe capital gains taxes on Bitcoin when you cash it in. I have people telling me that, when they have cashed in, it was very difficult for them to get whatever the posted value of Bitcoin was. Very difficult.
And a lot of people just aren't selling. Except the whales, the big guys. They love seeing the price go up because they can quietly get out, while the others are going to be left holding the bag when this bubble pops.
Now, the whales, as you call them, probably bought that Bitcoin with someone else's money.
Would you rather have $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or $100,000 worth of gold?
I would definitely pick the $100,000 worth of gold. People don't understand. This government is trying to corral Bitcoin specifically for the capital gains. And they're not the only country in the world looking at virtual currencies for their potential of capital gains.
Do you ever see a central bank allowing Bitcoin to usurp its power for its currency? To become more trusted than their own
You'd
currency?
have to be a very weak leader in a central bank to let that happen.
They look at silver, they look at gold, and they go, well, this isn't making me money. This is going up, so this must be good. I want in on this.
So how many people are putting their net worth into Bitcoin? And how smart an idea is that? If you invest in real estate, you invest in gold, or silver, or Pokemon cards, at least you got something you can hold in your hand. And the value of anything tangible like that is more or less predictable. And there'll always be a market. If there's no market, you probably will sell whatever that tangible item is. But Bitcoin, how do you determine the real value of something that's been so fractionalized already?
People get the price of something confused with its value. Just because an asset's price is going up doesn't mean that it's intrinsically valuable.
Yeah. It's the greatest generator of capital gains taxes in the history of the world. Okay? And the IRS has access to every transaction. And I only know that because I know somebody who bought into Bitcoin at $150, cashed out at $17.5, and he got a notice to pay capital gains taxes on the difference between, even though he didn't get $17.5, but that was the published price that he sold at. So he had to pay capital gains taxes between $150 and $17.5.
Is that why you think Trump's pushing it?
Absolutely.
And Jerome Powell?
The only way to bail out our government is more taxes, okay, and less waste.
Oh, yeah.
So Ramaswamy and Elon Musk they're gonna earn whatever they're being paid, because if they can go to every one of these empty office buildings and say, okay, who's supposed to be in that office and who's supposed to be in that office, and they corral these people and say, okay, either you come to work every day or or get another job. And a lot of them are going to be getting other jobs. But this outrageous spending by this present administration has done a lot of damage to this country. And I think Trump wants to repair it.
Just saw these beautiful 5 gold eagles. You're buying more gold.
Yeah.
And you're selling it. And you said you're selling it. Would you buy Bitcoin with the proceeds?
He has actually more important things to spend his money on than
I gotta build a house.
Okay, but
Keep my gold or make an investment in the property, and it's gonna pay 3 times with this gold.
You're smart.
Keep your goal. All right, it's enough Yankee Doodle Dandy. Normally I don't like him, but he made sense today. All right, Bobby. Yeah, Pistons were good at one time, but now a joke. I agree. Stephen A. calls being in the Detroit Pistons basketball purgatory. Yeah. I was shocked to see my LSU boys only favored by 1.5 against Baylor, who they should beat easily. I don't know if they're going to beat them easily. Baylor is a very strong offensive team. Who got a high ankle sprain? Baker? No, Justin Herbert has a high ankle sprain. Do I like Andy Scheckman? From a personal standpoint, I think he looked like a nice guy. We would have a good conversation. He's not an economist. He doesn't know what he's talking. He doesn't understand inflation. He doesn't understand COMEX and the price fixing. So when he's on and he's on as an economist, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He does a lot of talking about nothing. He just talks, and you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't make any sense. Like half of those guys, they're just bullshitters. They don't really say anything. Like if I gave him the cayenne pepper, he would talk about it, but he wouldn't say it does heart attacks. I get right to the point. He doesn't. Did he say his son Barry? Is he talking about my buddy? I don't know what, the Yankee Doodle Dandy? No, I don't think he said Barry. I didn't hear Barry. All right. So that was Yankee Doodle Dandy. I wanted to hear his talk, and that was good. We heard Egon. Mark McGuire. Trump's.
It's here. This is it. The federal government just come out with some new regulations that allows you to buy real estate with less.
All right. Trump's BRICS tariffs bullish for gold. So this is just Mark. There's nobody else. He does a gold chart and a silver chart. Let's get into his silver.
However, what has still not been realized is that the surprise opening of the 55 million, over 55 million SMEs to access silver will be the catalyst to revalue silver. So large is the silver paper to fiscal divide, which so far was able to be maintained because unallocated paper silver flows were managed by the so-called LBMA professional trade, who had a monopoly on silver, being able to silo these flows, shuffling these cash settlements among the cartel books for years. In fact, ever since the COMEX was launched. But this diluted paper market liquidity has migrated to physical exchanges. And other than...
So silver and gold are going to physical. And there goes the price to the moon. So I just paid $35 an ounce for my maple leafs. That'll soon be worth 35 or 350. So good news for the silver. I know we've all been waiting. Where's Luke when you need him? It's just going to go to the moon because they're going and they're getting physical market because it's too much. There's too much demand and there's very little supply. And eventually the COMEX breaks. The COMEX was government pricing it, and by government I mean J.P. Morgan running the government pricing the gold and silver, not by the free market. And I always talk free market prices. When I say silver 2,000 an ounce, gold 20,000, that's free market. And you're like, well, it's never been there because it's never been free market. It's been price fixed. It's always been. We're going to set the price, COMEX, gold, silver. Silver's at $30 because if they let it go, they won't be able, they'll lose trillions of dollars, they being the bullion banks, because they have all these derivatives shorting silver that they can't get out of the option. So in other words, back to trading places. So Eddie Murphy, he's with the frozen orange juice, right? And he says, well, okay. And they started selling at 130. Now, if the price went up to 200, they would have lost billions of dollars because they would have had to buy it at 200, even though they sold it at 130, which is what happens to the Duke and Dukes, right? They bought it at 100 and 110 and 120, and it went down to 29, and they had to sell it at 29. So they bought it at 102, 110, 120. And then when they sold it, it was sold at 26 and they lost millions of dollars. And that's kind of what's happening. So think of the JP Morgan and the bullion banks as the Dukes, right? They're into silver at 100, but the price is 26 and they're fucked. And they got to get there and they're trying to get out of the positions, but they can't because it keeps being bought up. The Russians and the Chinese keep buying it. When it hits 30, it doesn't go down to the 25, 24 where they can get out of their positions. Why you would short silver, I guess because they've been doing it all the while. But you gotta, as I tell you in football, there's different variables now. It isn't the same. You have to realize that. So this is the problem. So please understand that. That's what this is all about. There is no free market physical yet. It's starting to happen as he's saying. Here comes the physical market in gold and in silver. And if Bitcoin reaches 100,000, now the difference is, what were they talking about? The capital gains tax, right? So when you make money on a stock, you pay capital gains tax. What did I buy this for? You have no idea. What did I sell it for? You have no idea. Capital gains tax. How can you capital gains tax me? I paid in cash. Nothing goes through. And that's another reason that they're holding the gold price down, because they can't tax it. So Bitcoin's going up because they want to tax it. And apparently you thought that they didn't know your transactions is wrong. They know your transactions. They know who you are and your transactions. So there goes the immunity of Bitcoin. But not in gold and silver. Nobody knows I bought this yesterday. Nobody. Just the guy at the store, and he doesn't tell anyone. He doesn't even ask my name. All he does is sit there and he looks at it and here's $500. He gives me this. There's no name at all. So this is what you have to understand. We also talk diamonds, but I'll get into diamonds. Don't let me not tell you about diamonds when we get done with Mark McGwire here.
What flows in and out of the unallocated silver ETFs, which are still unallocated, these physical flows now bypass London altogether. But as we looked at last time, while gold was in the PBO's revaluation crosshairs when they opened up the Shanghai Futures Exchange for gold, and also silver on the 1st of March, China's industrial and military base is reported to be absolutely starved of silver supply to meet its requirements. And don't forget, there are war efforts underway. And although lagging gold, real supply-demand physical prices are increasingly being discovered by silver liquidity bypassing London and flowing directly into the SGE, where unlike the Western exchanges, including the unallocated silver foreign exchange markets, physical bars have to be owned for them to be traded. Now, this new PBOC incentive will drive.
SGE is Shanghai Gold Exchange. PBOC is the People's Bank of China, just in case.
A race by Western market fiat silver sellers to short cover foreign exchange silver into a bid-only short squeeze setup, not seen since the $18 rally 2020 COVID short squeeze. And while that was, again, a physical shortage, it's completely different to what's driving this one here. It's not just a physical shortage. There is no market shut down. This is a supply demand price being established in the physical markets. There is a seller and there is a buyer at every single price. Only it's.
And that is a market, everybody. That is a physical market. As I said, if I want to sell my homes and somebody buys it, that's the market. What they're doing is they're not using a market. No, they're saying they're price setting it. Well, what should we make silver today? We'll go $30. And they do derivatives to get the price to where they want it. That is not free market. That is not physical. However, what he just said is there is a physical market, and the demand for silver with the Chinese government and the militaries, because it goes into the missiles. You need 500 ounces of silver for a Tomahawk missile, for one Tomahawk missile. And, these other rockets and everything, who knows how much silver they need. So that is huge, the demand for it. And we hope there's no war, but build your missiles, fellas. All
Going to
right.
be significantly higher. And certainly there's enough of a short momentum to blow silver through every known resistance, including its $50 May 1st, 2011 highs. This is as bullish a setup. Again, this is the low. We marked the low here and the current high, although obviously that doesn't count for the previous highs. But essentially, this low here was a major driver. And yes, there was, again, this was before, this is exactly where gold was revalued as a first-year asset class. And obviously that has an influence with silver. So we're now seeing what is really essentially a hugely bullish setup in silver and an extremely bullish setup in gold. So I'll leave it at that because we've got a ton to get through.
Now, Andrew, I know this is well over 200 episodes, and I don't believe that we've ever talked about silver this early in our episode.
Right. Just before you ask the question. No, I don't smoke, Bobby. Never have. Just a pen. So you walked into a gas station and earlier in the week and was in line and noticed how long people take at the counter, wasting their money buying all the bullshit behind the counter, cigarettes, blunt wraps, tobacco, dip, lotto tickets, bingo tickets, the list goes on. Well, see, this is people have habits. They're nervous. They're idiots, most of them. And they try to, the smoking, that's just a habit they have. They're weak people. And then the lottery tickets, I always say I used to say bet against the Lions. And, why play the lottery? Just bet against the Lions. No, they're good this year, so I can't say that one. I have to say bet against the Pistons or something. But I'd much rather bet football than play the lottery. I'm I'm a little bit better at that than that. But yeah, I mean, people. Well, even the whole idea of the gas station, chips, which will kill you, the candy, which will kill you, the pop and the Slurpees, which will kill you, the chocolate pies, the Oreo cookies. There's nothing. The only thing they have that you can eat is a banana and an apple. Is the only thing you can go to the gas station for. Otherwise, what are you going for? What is there that you can possibly eat at the gas station? It's terrible. And the chips. The problem with the chips, not the potatoes. It's the oil they make it in, and then they put the regular bullshit salt on it. Not the. If it was Celtic salt, I might want to eat some chips, but this is the problem. It's all terrible for you. The candy's got the sugar, and the chips have the salt. The pop has salt or sugar, depending if it's diet or regular. In little quantities, you'll probably pass it through your system in a day or two. That's why we're not all dying from drinking a Coke, but generally people do this every day. So I'm very careful if I do have an ice cream or pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, it's get a piece, eat it, and goodbye with it. That's why I did a 43-hour fast last weekend, Bobby. So I ate Friday night. I didn't eat till Sunday until I hit 43 hours. And I was rewarded because I picked every game right. Amazingly, again. So that's kind of what I did. But that you got to do a 43-hour fast once, Bobby. You'll love it. It's very, when you finally eat, you're just like high from it. You're like, that's a weird high because you're high from not eating, but it's really good for your system, your heart. You're worried about your heart, just fast. Don't fuck around with these pills. We just bet football and buy medals. So that's a much healthier life. Hey Todd, I'm back. Going to have a small salad as a snack with cayenne pepper. You can have pepper on your egg, on your omelet, on your steaks, on your anything that you would normally put pepper on. Put cayenne. You don't need a lot. It's not like It's just like boom, a little shake, and there should be holes on the top, and then you just and then eat it. It's going to be hot, and just cut a lemon. And then so you eat it and you drink it and it goes in and it starts, you get a little like, oh my God, it's really strong. And then take the lemon and just lick the lemon, and that'll neutralize it, and it won't be uncomfortable, but it'll get into your body. So yeah, as much, 2-3 times a day, just, like normally my day, tomorrow, an omelet at noon or a salad, and I got chicken to cook. And then for dinner, and what I love is if I go to dinner, I take my cayenne and my Celtic salt and my French Ken's French dressing, and I go to the barbecue place, and I'm putting the French on the ribs and on the chicken and on my if I get potato, and the owner looks at me, but he understands. So everything's good, but that's what I do. So yeah, 2-3 times a day. You're just taking a little. It's a shake, and and then just you can lick it or put it on your food. And with the Celtic salt, don't forget the Celtic salt. 82 minerals in that. So I guess the Himalaya salt's like 72 minerals, but the Celtic salt's 82 minerals. It's all the minerals you don't get because they wash the food out of all the minerals. So you're getting all this processed food, which is like terrible. But the Celtic salt is what you need for the minerals, which will make you feel much, much better. So anyway, take those two. Again, the ginger, you never see me. My water always has the ginger on the bottom. And there, you can see the cinnamon in it. So it's not dirty glasses. It's ginger and cinnamon. A little bit of honey, and it's. I mean, look at me. I know I don't look my age. I see older guys. I see guys my age in the sauna, and they're near death. And nobody knows my age. Bobby's too much turkey. Let's see. Back up here. All right. I ran into a buddy of mine a few weeks ago. This is Bobby, and he went through about 4 cigarettes in those 2 hours. There you go, Todd. Todd was not screwing around. He wants to be healthy. Well, it's not what's he doing. He bought pepper to be healthy. I mean, but he'll be healthy with it. I think we all want good health. Bobby say too much turkey. What about sea salt, Celtic salt? Just a second. Instead of the pink Himalaya, you get Celtic salt. Light gray Celtic. So Celtic salt, the little pebbles, right? So I will do that. Little salty taste. drink it down, and I just had 82 minerals. Very, very healthy. I'll do that 5-6 times a day. That and the pepper go into my salads, my omelets, my steaks and chickens when I make them. If I were to get them from the barbecue, I would put them on it. Although it's better if you marinate with them, except for the salad, of course. The omelet, they go in when I mix up the egg, but not on the salad. I just pour it on the salad, and it's fine. It's got a nice taste to it mixed with the food. So that's the salt you want to get. 82 minerals. Do you still have your last meal at 6 p.m.? I try to. So to my eating habits, today I think I ate at 11:30. So now I get up at like 7 o'clock for work. Before I'd get up at 9, I could sleep in. I wasn't working. I could watch a movie in bed or on the couch and have a coffee and have some water. And then about noon, you saw me if I did class that early. And then I could have my omelet and my pita bread and, cauliflower, whatever for snacks. So, 12. And then by 5:36, I would go out to the pool at 2-3 o'clock, come home, and then I'd have a steak or chicken or the omelet was normally for lunch, but I'd have a salad with a steak, let's say, or a hamburger, and that would be 6. Now it's a little different because I get up so early and I'm out of the house. I'll have a cup of coffee or teas or waters at work. And then I got to bring my cinnamon and my lemon. It's hard to bring it. But I'll have my Celtic salt before I go, and I'll have my olive oil and lemon. I squeeze a little, I pour a little olive oil and I squeeze the lemon. Those are very, very healthy for you. And I'll just drink it, right? I just drink it and then put the Celtic salt and I drink the water, and then I go to work. So about 11:30, I'm like tired from work anyway. If I start getting a little too tired, so I'll eat lunch about 11:30. And then my problem is I get out of work about 4:15 and I go to the pool, because if I don't, I'll come home. And if I do class, I got to eat dinner because I'll be hungry and then I'll be too tired to go. So I like to go to the pool first. So about 5 to 6. So I get home about 6:15. And then I eat at 6:15. So I just don't have, I could, if I thought I had to, I would then come home and eat first. And then I could go to the pool and then do class. But, you can see we're getting late with the classes at 7-8 o'clock, which I don't mind. But then I get a little tired because I've been up since 7 working. And then, so I'm kind of mixing. That's why I didn't do it yesterday. I was just too tired, and I had to go to the grocery store because I was hungry. I didn't have food because I went on my lunch to the bank to get my money into the gold store to buy more gold and my little silver things here. So I'll probably go next week, and there's 14 in a tube, which is really 28 ounces. So this is really 14 ounces. So I'll get the other half of this, if he has it, next week. And that's the good thing about it. I get paid every Thursday. Now, because I'm contract there, and we'll get back to Mark McGwire in a minute, because I'm contract there, they don't want to pay me for the holidays. Now, I'm supposed to be a full-time employee, but it takes them a while to hire, but they needed me to get going. And so, they got a skeleton crew now, so they need me. So I said, okay, fine. I'll do some contract, but I want to, I'm an employee. They said, yeah, within 6 months we'll hire you. I said, okay, as long as I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid a good rate. So then I found out I'm not getting paid for the holidays. Well, normally I don't care if I miss July 4th. Okay. But I missed 2 days for Thanksgiving. So I got a reduced check, but Christmas, they're closed from the 24th to the 1st. So I would get a 1-day check and a 2-day check in 2 weeks, which would kill me. So I told the the HR director today. I said, Courtney, can you do something about it? I mean, we both want me as an employee, but I don't think I should not get any holiday pay when every other employer is getting paid for the full week and a half of Christmas, because they shut down. So everybody gets paid the 24th to the 2nd. So he says, let me dig into it. I should be able to help you. And he's like you, Bobby. If he says he's going to help you, he's going to help you. So I'll just wait, and hopefully I can get paid. Really, I'm looking for is Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's. But I got a feeling I'll get paid for all of it. But if I can at least get a couple more days in, then I think it's only fair, because I really should be an employee, but I don't know how long it takes to hire me. I mean, that's why I usually take contract, because I can start. I interviewed Thursday. 5 minutes after the interview, they hired me, and I started on Monday. I ran to the blood test on, I think, Friday, did a few little bullshit I-9 things on Saturday, and on Monday I started. And the contract office doesn't get it. They want me as an employee. I'm not there really as a contract worker. It's just because they can't hire me, but they need me, and then I need to get paid. So that's why I'm there. But the contract house is missing the point. I'm basically an employee, and that's how they're treating me. And I saw I'm in the budget next year as a Tenneco employee. So anyway, so hopefully that'll help. But to answer your question, Bobby, if I just came home and I didn't swim and I didn't teach, I would keep eating by 6. But I am going to the pool and doing a good 20 minutes on the bike and a good 35, 40 minutes in the pool. So, okay, so I eat a little bit after 6. It's not a big deal. I think I eat by 6:30, especially if I've already got it made. A salad, big deal. An omelet, big deal. I got chicken breast to cook, but I'll cook that tonight. That's for the weekend if I don't get Chinese. And first meal at 12 noon, roughly. It's about 11:30, 12. But again, I'm up at 7, so I'm up earlier. My body's churning earlier than getting up at 9 and then basically laying in bed watching a movie or something. Speaking of health, Professor, did you hear about Randy Moss? He announced that he has liver cancer. Okay, let me talk to him. I'll cure him in 5 minutes. I'll cure his liver cancer. Put him on that. Have him fast for 2 days. Have him stop eating sugar. I'm very serious, right? Have him do this, he'll get rid of the cancer. There's a Barbara O'Neill.
It's the liver. Many signs.
You can also wake up a thyroid gland.
Have them watch her, Barbara O'Neill, Eternal Health. She's got one on cancer. I gave it to our friend Pat in Singapore. Have them watch that. She cures cancer. And it's mostly with this cayenne pepper.
Who's that?
So we'll have to ask Pat when we see him. He's in Singapore. He's into the gold. And his mom's doing better. It will cure cancer. Cancer is just a deformity, and it lives on sugar. So obviously Randy is eating too much sugar. That's why he got the cancer. And he's eating too many carbs, too much bread. You tell him to get on cayenne pepper, do maybe a 3-day fast with the cancer, maybe 3. If you starve the cancer cells, you cure it, because they'll die because they need to eat sugar. That's all it is. Cancer is a deformed cell that lives on sugar. You starve it. right? A 3-day fast and cut out sugar, and that means carbs. No more bread, cereal, nothing. Eat fucking steaks, eat salad, eat the pepper and the salt, water. Give it a week, he'll be cured. 100%, he'll be cured. So get a hold of him. You can talk to me or just you tell him, Bobby. But that's it. I mean, it's not a big deal. He doesn't need chemo, doesn't need that. Starve the cancer cells by not giving him any sugar. And the best way to do it is just start with a 3-day fast, and he'll be cured. 100%. Not an opinion. This is watching her. I'm not the doctor, but she is. But I'm telling you what she's saying, and I believe that would cure it, and especially the cayenne pepper. It'll kill all that shit. So give him a call, Bobby. Tell him to watch right there. Just watch the thing or go buy cayenne pepper. But he needs to do the 3-day fast because he's got to kill the cancer cells. He's got to starve them. No sugar. They eat a lot of sugar. What else? We'll talk diamonds when I'm done with this.
But you got me really excited. You got me fired up about something major that's going on that we were talking about just before we started recording here in the silver markets. Can you share with the community what's going on here?
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. Obviously, look, it's unlike gold. This has been the problem with silver. Unlike gold, it's not yet been formally reclassified as a first-tier asset class. So, but nevertheless, it's a component of Beijing's war efforts, alongside hedging, foreshadowed tariffs to come. Liquidity providers assess the relaxing of the SGE rules that we looked at last time is specifically focused on attracting large silver bullion flows into China to meet military and industrial demand. Now, as we outlined in our last episode, by incentivizing millions of smaller investors, that's the millions of SMEs that we looked at on the charts as well, incentivizing them to buy and to trade fully paid for silver, it is greatly impacting global supply, draining underpriced silver already facing a 4-year massive supply deficit. Now, while there is a commodity element to silver, silver is classified as money, which is why, unlike any other commodity, it trades as a foreign exchange cross. So, as I say, long silver, short dollar, yen, etc., or the other way around. Now, with pricing being established in the physical exchanges, where there is always a tradable buy and sell order for every single bar that is actually traded, it's also going to put silver onto the revaluation stair steps. And it's just as when the Bank of International Settlements reclassified gold as a first-tier asset class on the 1st of January 2023. And what that did was force the multi-trillion-dollar FX gold to become NSFR compliant, which meant that liquidity providers all of a sudden had to back each buy and sell order with physical gold. So that was a big change that changed what was really an unallocated market into a physical market. Now, by actually pricing physical silver or physically pricing silver in the FX markets, the silver fix event will produce the same result, which each silver bar will have a real buy and a real sell silver price, and a real silver price will emerge from that fact. It doesn't matter what the price of silver is, there's always going to be a buyer and a seller, but it's not going to be settled in the paper markets. And when we look back at silver in the rear view mirror, when it's trading with a 3-figure handle, yeah, you like that, Shane, it will be realized all the signs to act are really right under our noses now. And at the margin, this fresh SGE demand will be the next catalyst to drive a series of higher physically driven stair steps, this time also revaluing silver. it will begin to bullishly undermine the current bearishly skewed multi-billion-dollar options and OCC structures. We talked about these structures before. These are derivative structures. They're backed by nothing. Now, we've not really evidenced a real balanced supply-demand silver price, really, since it was fractionalized and diluted to be traded on the COMEX about 50 years ago. Now, with silver, with silver supply actually being sucked out of above ground stocks right now into this growing supply deficit, it actually raises the question which we raised last time. What is that price? And while no one exactly knows, every well-connected liquidity provider assesses it has to be a three-figure price. And once the short squeeze and margin calls hit, it will happen faster than most people realize. This is why every single bullion bank, without exception, is long both gold and silver for their own books. So really, kind of to sum that up, at the margin, this completely unfactored, fresh, brics-driven SGE silver demand is going to make it impossible for the fast dwindling above ground supply. There's not enough supply for the so-called LBMA silver professional trade that they call themselves to suppress a globally driven spot silver price breakout into all-time highs. Now, liquidity providers give it till the first week in January for the lid to blow off. I mean, we are talking imminent here. And yes, the clues are all there under the deliberately induced chart noise. In other words, what's going on in the paper to physical battle, which is actually designed, it's the whole reason the COMEX was designed, to keep investors on the sidelines into what looks like a non-performing asset class. Why? Because so much paper, silver, and gold as well has been introduced to actually make it look like that it's non-performing. Whereas silver has quietly been leading gold higher and is looking explosive. All our liquidity providers agree something large is going on in silver.
Now, Andrew, it'd be great if you could.
So that's first week in January. We're at December 13th, 2027. 3 weeks, silver is going to the moon. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Go buy, take your winnings and go buy silver. Again, this cost me $70, $35 an ounce, but I'm getting 2 ounces. And it's beautiful, and it's maple leaf, which is fine. Anything like is printed by the government, you're not going to have a problem with. Just stay away from the Chinese guys on eBay that want to sell it for $20, and if it's worth $35, go to the store and buy it. You don't need these idiots on eBay. I told the guy, says, I don't want to go to eBay and buy your quarter ounces. Just get me a few quarter ounces. He says he's got to buy like 20 of them. And I don't really want to buy 20 of them. I just want to buy 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there as we go. So I will see. But anyway, I saw another coin store when I was driving home from the club. I took a different route. So I might pop in there tomorrow and see if he's got quarter ounces. Anyway, so there you have it. It's about to explode silver. We heard Bitcoin. It's just for tax purposes. And they do have your information. And that's the beauty of gold and silver. Nobody knows you got it. It is not out there. They do not know. They do not capital gains tax you. Again, Andy Scheckman said if you just sell 10 ounces of gold, they won't. There was a limit, like 30 or something. So if you sold 30 ounces of gold, you might get a 1099. But if you sold 10 ounces of gold, you wouldn't. That's the way it is now. We'll see. So Trump with the crypto is just simply trying to get taxes. So maybe he thinks, oh, I'll get capital gains tax on everybody. And then maybe he thinks that'll help pay the debt. I don't know. I mean, he'll never get that much money from it. but that's why they want the price to go up. I don't know what Michael Saylor's doing because he's not the government. He's not getting the capital gains on it, but that's it. So it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's see, Mark McGuire. He doesn't talk bricks. I think he does. All right. So this is going to be Trump and the BRICS and everything else, this last piece.
Markets. Nobody.
Well, Andrew, I need you to address something. I know we've had many questions from the community, and I personally received a lot of questions, and I promised that I would ask you this question. And it's regarding, of course, Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on any BRICS nation that dares to challenge the mighty U.S. dollar. Tell us what's this about, because I really don't know.
Yeah, so I know I've had so much feedback, a ton of questions that had to be addressed, and so this is perfect, Shane. Let's delve into Trump's BRICS tariff threat. Now, while this likely is just posturing to try and come in and bat a strong hand, don't blame him. Let me feed back what really are well-connected global-facing liquidity providers really anticipate. Now, cutting to the quick, further weaponizing the dollar is extremely bullish for gold. Now, here's why. Bottom line, Russia is an energy and agricultural superpower. So existing sanctions already necessitate ongoing settlements that utilize national currencies. So until Trump removes the main sanctions on Russia, it's possible, these non-dollar BRICS pay settlements will continue to expand. BRICS is a rising force that has already overtaken the G7, and given the expanded BRICS trading nations either produce or consume 85% of all global commodities, including energy, tariffs will likely backfire on the US more than it impacts the BRICS nations simply dealing amongst themselves. Now, while Trump's BRICS sanction threats may actually temporarily put a hold on formalizing the named launch of a SWIFT-like alternative settlement currency, as far as gold is concerned, it will not halt the ongoing globally driven FX gold price revaluation process. In fact, liquidity providers assess that these threats of further employing the dollar as a geopolitical weapon has already begun to accelerate the usage of the BRICS pay decentralized payment system, enabling BRICS members countries to trade with each other using their own currencies. And as we've previously assessed, I mean, the wide range of national currencies are not equal in value. So when pricing an equitable price to settle a specific trade between nations, it is the percentage of gold that backs that nation's currency which provides the tradable benchmark to price that commodity transaction. In other words, how many grams of gold that nation's FX currency buys so as to value the trade. And that live FX benchmark price then values a commodity trade or currency swap, which can then be hedged. Hence why every BRICS global south facing and Western central bank, alongside billions of dollars of safe haven institutional demand, are all busy converting dollars and US treasuries to gold. This process will not stop. Now, current reports of fresh Chinese central bank buying absolutely, while they're on the news and it's bullish, people are saying, well, look, China's back buying. It pales in comparison to the non-stop continued monetary gold purchases. So in the meantime, every single global central bank except the Fed is accumulating gold. If anything, and I'm not joking, the smart move would be to lean into Basel III compliance and start backing the dollar with gold. It's not such a crazy idea if you're caught naked short using unfunded government liabilities into a global short squeeze. Now, if anyone could force a US Treasury gold price reevaluation, it would be Trump. And then what then, after that, what use would the Fed be is the next question. Let's see what Judy Shelton gets up to in January, shall we? Now, the only question remaining, though, is what percentage of your rapidly debasing, depreciating dollars, pounds, euros, yens have you protected with zero counterparty risk, physical gold and silver, guys?
All right. Thank you, Andrew McGuire, for talking.
There you go, Mark McGwire. Calls it like he sees it. See, I like him because we can talk to him. He gets it like we do, like Egon does. The rest of these guys are a bunch of bubbleheads. The Yankee Doodle Dandy normally doesn't get it. I was a little impressed today. He actually got it on the Bitcoin side. But yeah, so Michael Saylor is going, oh, buy, and he's not government related. He just has a lot of Bitcoin, and so. Apparently, when you sell it, you're not getting the price. So if you think you're going to get it at 100 grand, you're not. And then here's the government going, wait, we're 1099ing you, which nobody in Bitcoin ever thought, because they thought Bitcoin was like this underground movement. There wouldn't be any tax on it. Well, there's a tax on it. And according to the Yankee Doodle Dandy guy, it's from communist China. You want to be in bed with them and the Russian mafia. And that was just to hide and launder money, because that's what China and Russia do. Is the communists, they get all the money and they launder it. So you really want to be in Bitcoin, something that isn't real. And now you're going to pay tax when you sell it. So do you really want to make 100 grand in it and pay tax? Or you can make 100 grand in this and not pay tax because nobody knows you have it. You make the call, but I don't buy it because of the tax implication. I buy it because I'm getting out of dollars, and I know this is going to go to the moon, and I'm going to pay tax on it because there's no capital gains. I never owned it. If I don't own it, you don't know, and then I didn't sell it either. So that's the difference with gold and silver. It's kind of quiet, and nobody knows you have it, and nobody can tax you, and all that nice stuff. So that's the thing. You're out of the government. We're in a nice, safe place. Now they might try to tax it, but I don't know. They don't think anybody owns it because they try to talk everybody out of it. My last thing is going to be diamonds. So I go buy my gold yesterday, like a good boy, and my silver. Start talking with the owner. So I finally explained to him that it's being held down by JP Morgan. I don't think he ever understood that. I said, silver's going to go through the roof soon. It's held down. It's suppressed by JP Morgan. It was the first time he go, oh, it's suppressed. Like now he's getting it. I says, my only concern is you won't take my money anymore. He says, oh, that won't happen. And I'm thinking, good. You keep taking my worthless dollar for your gold and silver. I says, because it's losing its value, and gold and silver can't lose their value. So he's like, no, I won't do that. I'm like, okay, thank you. Now we start talking about diamonds, and there's the manufactured diamonds, and there's something new manufactured. And even whatchamacallit is involved with it, De Beers. De Beers is the stupidest monopoly in the world because they price their diamonds so expensive. They really are catering to just the rich, the upper class, because they don't care. So they'll charge $6,000 for a diamond. I want to say an ounce, but I know that's not right, for a carat. So it's $6,000 a carat for diamonds because they don't care about us. They want the rich. And so it's like California. They don't care about the people. They just want to tax the Silicon Valley people. That's their idea. That's why taxes are so high. They're going after Silicon Valley. And so with diamonds, they are just going after the very rich people who would buy diamonds. They don't care about me and you where we buy a diamond for a wedding or an anniversary, and that's it. We buy one. Where I guess the rich buy diamonds like it's water, I guess. So that's their market. But now they're coming up with this made diamond that apparently you'd make it in a lab that you can't tell the difference. It could be, it's like lab made diamonds that look so good, you think they're real. And even I think if you put it under a microscope, you can't tell. That's how good these diamonds are. And they're only, where a regular diamond's 6,000 a carat, this diamond's 900. So you want to get your wife, or, you're going to get married, or you want an anniversary gift, you can get her these lab made diamonds for like 900 a carat that she can't tell if it's real or not. You can tell her it's land made and it looks nice, and she doesn't have to say anything to her parents or her girlfriend or her girlfriends and say, look what Bobby got me. But it's not going to cost you $6,000 for the carat. It's going to cost you 900. So they're actually creating a demand in the market for not real diamonds that really you can't tell the difference. Even with the microscope, you can't tell it's not a real diamond. So that's where you're at with it. So keep that in mind, that you can start buying diamonds, which are good because you get more people to buy them. You might buy more for your girlfriends and your wives because they're only 900, but at 6,000, sorry, honey, I'll buy you an ounce of gold for 2,500 or some, why don't we, here are some silver for our anniversary. The perfect Christmas gift. Bobby, you should give this to your daughter for the $70 and then let her, what am I going to do with it? You're going to go to the grocery store with it soon. So how quickly, so that's the diamonds. So you want lab made diamonds that you can't tell the difference. And they're $900 a carat as opposed to 6,000. And, the wife will never know. I would tell her because I want her to know, but she probably wouldn't care after looking at it. I was talking to one guy in the lunchroom today, and he said, I took the rings and I had a real one and a lab one. And I said, here, choose. And she chose the lab one and couldn't tell the difference. So, okay, that's the one. He said, I bought her that one, but it's, because women have a thing. They want real diamonds. They don't want fake diamonds. And I understand that because it's kind of like a lie. It's dishonest. Oh, you said you bought me a diamond. It's not. It's just a piece of glass. Well, what's a diamond, right? So anyway, that is out there. There's becoming a market for it. And even De Beers is getting in on it. So I don't know what we can do with it. It's not an investment. It's not real, but just an FYI what they're doing with diamonds. So they can't do that with gold and silver. Thank God. So that's really what's going on. Very soon, silver will break through and gold will break through. And there's physical markets, not the paper derivatives. It's on its way out. And then brics. The problem with brics going on a gold-backed currency is it'll destroy the fiat money, which is being destroyed anyway. So I don't think it's going to be long before Putin and brics come out with the gold-backed currency. As Mark McGwire said, they are going to trade in it. That's why they're backed by gold, because there's the difference, a Brazil dollar versus a yuan, Chinese versus India versus Russia. All their currencies are crap compared to the US dollar because it's all bullshit. But even if they trade, so if Russia, their dollar is 108 to the dollar, China's 7-1. How are they going to figure out how to trade? How much rubles do they got to give them? Or how much yuan do they got to give them? But if they're backed by gold, it's the same thing then. It'll be worth so much gold, and that'll be how they trade their own currencies. That's why they're all buying gold, for the trade to get out of the dollar and out of the SWIFT network. So it's coming. And we know the oil countries want to get paid in gold, not dollars. And nobody wants to trade with the U.S. anyway. So keep that in mind. We're falling apart quickly thanks to Biden, thanks to Obama. Trump didn't do us any favors either. And Trump's not going to stop spending. So keep that in mind. The U.S. dollar is going out. So you'll be happy to have this. The more of this, the better you'll be, the richer you'll be. It'll end up where that'll be the money. They'll have silver backed, right? So it'll be silver back money. So your money will be backed by silver, and that'll give it value. But we don't have any gold or silver to use to back our money, so I don't know what we're going to do. But as a country, as individuals, we know what we're going to do. We're going to be just fine with this. And we don't have it. I never heard of it. I don't know. I don't own an ounce of silver. I don't know what you're talking about. So keep that in mind. At least buy some silver for Christmas. That I kidded with Daria. I bought the ounce of gold and I bought this. I said, this is my Christmas gift. Thank you. She got we're talking about her expenses. So her rent, she says, if I buy wallpaper, my rent won't go up. So says, how much is your wallpaper? I'll pay for it. Her wallpaper is 38,000 rubles. And I'm thinking, well, what is that? It's $380. I said, okay, I'll pay $380 so you can get wallpaper so your rent doesn't go out. So her rent won't go up. And $380. It's probably she said the master's coming and he'll put the wallpaper up. So she picks out the wallpaper. The wallpaper is not 38,000, but the guy to maybe including the guy to put it up is 38,000. So that's what she's paying for is the maintenance. And I said, well, we just paint. We don't use wall. But I noticed the Russians, my mom was Russian. Her dad was Russian, and she would have wallpaper. So I think it's a Russian thing, the wallpaper, as opposed to painting. But painting's much cheaper. But wallpaper is much prettier. There's designs and everything. So anyway, so that's what she's doing. So that's part of her Christmas gift. But we'll meet when she's ready. When she says, let's see what Trump does. Trump's going to end the war because they can't afford it anymore. So they're going bankrupt. Trump will end the war. And then I should be able to go to Russia and we should meet. So that's what I'm looking for. That'll be my Christmas gift. But the more of this I get, the better. So, if I have so much to spend, I can't afford an ounce every time, which is, 20, I think it was $27.50 yesterday. So I can't afford 27. That's why the guy asked me, why do you don't just buy ounces? I said, I don't have 27. But for $700 to buy a quarter, I got that. And that's fine. I mean, I was paying $350 for it. Now they're $750. So that's the good part about buying the quarter ounce or the half or the tenth of an ounce for $300 to buy a tenth of an ounce. Fine, I got $300. I'd rather buy that than the silver. But now it's okay. Let's get a little bit more silver. Let's get quarter ounces, and then when I can, I'll buy the full ounce, which is a lot easier to keep score with. So I'm always excited when I get it because I know I'm getting it far under value. And now that we hear this physical market's coming up, you don't have much time. The fear I have is they're not going to take dollars for it. That's my first fear. But here, I think they will. I think it'll be out, and then our dollar won't crumble as fast. And then so they'll still take dollars for gold. So, okay, thank you. Because he still pays bills in dollars. So as long as he pays his bills in dollars, he'll take dollars. So again, it's Rumpelstiltskin paying in dollars and turning it into gold. And that's all I did. I didn't spend $1 yesterday. I know it was 30. I spent $3,200. All I did was exchange it for gold and silver, and therefore I didn't spend a nickel. I have the money. Right? I have the silver. I didn't, so I just traded. And this is the point, people. When I explain it like this, people get it. All I do is take this and turn it into that. I didn't spend any money. I have the value here instead of here. Yeah, I paid a minor premium. It was a $5 premium on this. Who cares? And I paid, like an $80 premium on the ounce of gold. So who cares about the premium? You'd pay tax if you went to the grocery store and stuff. But that's all you're doing. Now, if I needed to, I can trade the ounce back and I wouldn't get the full amount. I'd get the full amount minus the premium. Okay. But a lot of it I bought at 1800, which is now 2,700. So I don't care about, losing a little bit, getting spot at this. I still made $800, $900, $1,000. So that's how I look at it. So keep that in mind. That's all you're doing is trading. And it's a nice gift for Christmas because the kids but the kids won't understand it. So it's hard to give it to them if they don't understand. So it's almost like you give it to yourself. Like, this is my present, but I understand what I did. So keep that in mind. Again, pros should be a big week. I have 4 locks. I have at least 4 other games, and I've been so hot in the pros. Again, the teaser trends are helping, but they're not the only. I don't just bet Minnesota because they're 27-3. They got a hell of a defense. They got Jefferson, Darnold's playing good, and they're winning every week. So that's the other thing. They're 12-3. It's not like betting on Jacksonville, who sucks, but they cover, or like Houston or whatever. So keep in mind of that. But it does help. It does bring my attention to those teams. But it's really hard to use trends. The only trends you can use are Burrow and Mahomes and Josh Allen. You can use those trends, even the Lions, because they've been there for a few years now. So you can go back 2-3 years on certain teams. But most of it, the Bears, you can't. You just can use this year. But between the coaching changes and the quarterback changes and the rookie quarterbacks, look at Bo Nix, rookie. They're 11-1 in the teaser with Bo Nix, but you can't use the 2-year trend because he wasn't there, even though Sean Payton was. So I don't know what happened with Russell Wilson, but look what Sean Payton does. He comes, he gets Russell Wilson, doesn't work out. He dumps him, pays him off, gets Bo Nix. That's the difference between a winner and these other idiots. Well, we'll give Mac Jones 5 years. We'll give Daniel Jones 5 years. Sean Payton he got rid of Russell Wilson. He'd have gotten rid of Daniel Jones in 5 minutes. He wouldn't even be a starter. He wouldn't even have taken the job probably if Daniel Jones was there. So that's what you have. Anyway, 2.5 hours. I'm tired. Friday, I will be on tomorrow. I don't know, probably 11 because there's the Army-Navy game's on at 3, but we're not even really – there's not much to say on it. Army's an A team with a 15 defense, and Navy's a B with a 23 defense roughly. It's always a war, but it's always been an under game. And Todd says, oh, I'm going to go under. And I said, no, Todd, you're not going to go under. Normally we went under because they both ran the triple option and both teams practiced against it. So they knew what was coming. That's not what they're doing now. They're putting 3-4 wide receivers out and they're running and passing. And therefore it's not the same. Look at Army Tulane. Army put up 34 points on Tulane and held them to 14. So this is not, this is a different team, a different scheme, very good quarterback. So Army Navy is not 10-7. Maybe they can score. This is a different team. So keep that in mind. So it won't be the same. But now that is in the pros. So if you buy the pros, you will get that pick, the Army Navy pick, really the only college. And then we'll start with the bowls the following week. So if you buy the bowl package, you get 3-4 weeks of picks for the 100, not 1 week. And the same thing if you take the college class, like you've been playing $50 for the college, and then you get the pick for the week. So the class will be $50, but that'll be also for 4 weeks of class. So it's a really good thing. And the way I've been hitting on the pros, so definitely red hot. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I think that's about it. So I'll see you tomorrow morning about 11. www.teaserking.com. You want the pros, trade, purchase picks. And off we go. Like I said, 4 locks, and I got at least 8 of the games played, including the 4 locks. And I'll probably mix the locks and 2 teasers. Like I said, the Army games cooked in with what's actually cooked in with the Rams, but you can play that with another team, one of the 4 locks if you want. When I give you the locks, you can play them any way you want. I show you my bets, right? So if I have the Rams with the Army game, that's my pick. But you're seeing I'm taking the Rams, and you're seeing I'm taking the Army game, and you see I'm taking, whatever, the Cincinnati over last week. You see I'm playing it, but you can play it any way you want. I know Titus puts them in 18 teasers. And that's how he plays them. And then certain people play them in 5-team teasers. G plays them 4 or 5-team teasers. You should still play the base lock as a lock, right? Maybe whatever your bankroll, maybe it's $100. And then if you want to play the 4 or 5, 8-team teaser, you play it for $20 or $30. It's hard to play it for, as the pick, but that's what you need to do. So that's what I would recommend. That's how I play. And when I play an 18, 10-team teaser, I showed you, it was like $30, $50, but my real plays were 500, 700, things like that. So that's kind of how the best 2 games, 500. And then, geez, I like here, I like 4 locks. I'll play a 4-team teaser, but much less than the 2 locks that I play. And then I play them in other. So if I'm locking, Cincinnati over, they'll be in 2 teasers with the other locks or other strong plays. And that's what I did last week. Anyway, have a good night, everybody, and good luck. Cayenne pepper, your Celtic salt. Stay away from the sugar, because that's what cancer lives on, is the sugar. So if you stop eating sugar, which means carbs, bagels and sandwiches and bread, just don't get it. Get the meat. Have a steak, have ribs, have chicken. But stay away from the bread. A little bit's fine, but don't too much. Be careful of your chips, because they're made in oil and they put the regular salt on it. So anyway, this will clean you up, keep you healthy, as will this, all the minerals that you're losing. All right, everybody. Have a nice night and take care, Bobby, wherever you go. Todd, everybody, G, Titus, everybody else. All right. Have a good night, everybody. If you need me, Teaser King, you'll get my email. Just email me. Not a problem. All right. Take care.